So will Delta Force be that game that kills off Battlefield and Call of Duty? Mm, So ever since Delta Force has been announced to the public with their teasers and their official trailers and so on and so forth, I feel like this question really arose quite quickly and just stayed embedded in every gamer's mind. Will Delta Force be that IP that takes over Battlefield and Call of Duty in terms of the military, casual, tactical FPS shooter that we're really familiar with? I played about 15 to 20 hours, give or take, of Delta Force's PC alpha test, and the game's great. The game's fun, even for it being an alpha. Now, off the bat, I will say, as far as Delta Force and Call of Duty in comparison, those two individual games or IPs will be fine, honestly. With Black Ops 6 coming soon, everybody checking out the omnidirectional movement and, the little differences that they've put within Black Ops 6 for Call of Duty, I feel like they'll be fine. They'll always have that dedicated fan base, that dedicated player count, all of that jazz to hold itself nice and, just basically be fine. And that goes with Delta Force 2, I think, in my opinion, even though it's, not finished yet. But I feel like when this game does come out, it will have its own community, own concurrent player base, player count. So, yeah, as far as those two IPs, I think they're just too different to say whether it will kill off Call of Duty or not as far as Delta Force. Now, in terms of Delta Force and Battlefield, that's what the real question is. Can Delta Force basically take over what Battlefield has been trying to do, or has been maintaining to do, honestly, within the terms of that military tactical shooter that's casual enough for people to enjoy? Now, if I'm gonna be real, I honestly think that Delta Force and everyone involved made it quite clear that they were gonna go against Battlefield, especially with 2042. So that's what I wanted to wrap around with as far as that question between Delta Force and Battlefield. As IPs, they'll be fine, I think. Battlefield, EA, all that jazz. I do think that Delta Force just basically kills off Battlefield 2042. And that might be a big hot take at the moment, considering, again, it's not finished. And again, I want to reiterate that Delta Force, isn't a finished game. And there are some things that 2042 still does way better than Delta Force at the moment. But I still believe that basically that this game, Delta Force, is going to be taking away a lot of players as far as Battlefield 2042. Kind of like, poaching in a sense. Here we go. So, off the bat, both are military tactical FPS games, of course. And then both are set within this near future, semi-futuristic, fantastical warfare. And what I mean by that is that, both games aren't really set, like 200, 300 years later. This is more down the roads, like 10, 15, 20 years down. Yeah, I'll just still list off the similarities and talk about the differences on that later as well, because there are some, slightly. Both have vehicles to use in-game, and 2042 obviously will have way more options to use at the moment, like the jets and the little birds, of course. That's not saying that Delta Force doesn't have anything as far as aerial warfare, but they do only have one helicopter to use at the moment. Although I think it is factual that they will be probably working on a jet option as well, as far as more vehicles to add on, but there's still a fair amount. You have your tanks, your LAV vehicles, Hummers, or just basically like transport vehicles like that as well. But yeah, it's similar in that way as far as vehicles within a military shooter as this. Both have a variety of weapons and gadgets to utilize. Both are heavily reliant on multiplayer. Although that is a similarity, there is a slight difference that I will talk about later, and that's where Delta Force's single-player campaign will play into this. Both have, that marketplace and season pass live service model. Now, this has a very big difference as well, but I'll, later. Both are more on the casual side of the whole complexity as far as the genre that they're going for. Like, compare Hell Let Loose, for instance. That's a way different game as far as that tactical military shooter genre. Delta Force is going for that Call of Duty and Battlefield casualness to where it's easy to play and pick up and be able to basically have fun with like that without having to learn too many rules in a sense. They even share the same color theme in a sense. Like, Like this whole light greenish, light bluish, whatever type of vibe that they go for. If you were to Google right now, Battlefield 2042, let's check that out right now. You know, like super greenish, almost bluish, light bluish type of vibe. And then you go with this, it's, you know, very, very similar. Maybe just a little more tad green on this. But yeah, I mean, like it's to where I think that, you know, this point is basically trying to replace 2042. I'll basically paraphrase all this stuff too. You know, this is way more than just the similarity list that I had made where it was just one sentence. But anyway, long story short, you know, this game's gonna be free. I mean, 2042 is free in a sense with the Game Pass, but you know, that, like, this game is free to the public day one. No matter what console you play on, what platform. I have no idea what platform it will be as far as PC. Maybe it is on Steam or its own thing. It's even gonna be on phones. Like, you know, this game is just gonna be available to everyone, and it's free as far as the general game. And the studios involved have reiterated, you know, numerous times that they're gonna do their best to just keep this game straight, you know, cosmetic microtransactions and little small things like that that just do not impact the game at all, as far as, you know, this pay to win scheme that's been going on as far as a lot of these other developers and this genre of game and just gaming in general. I mean, these guys are, you know, starting off pretty good in my opinion. You know, with this test that's wrapped up with the pre-alpha, you know, it's looking like, you know, cosmetic skins and all of that are going to be like the main basis as far as making money with their microtransactions in the live service model. And it's just a good opportunity for them to try and gain trust from everybody, basically, you know, to give a reason why you should try this game and basically keep playing it. The game has run very well. You know, it was really, really rare that I really like crashed or came with like any type of glitches, although there are a few funny ones. But man, I mean, it's not even released yet, and I feel like this blew away all of Battlefield's day one releases, and maybe even some of Call of Duty's, if I remember correctly. Like, a lot of those games just did not release really good at all. You know, just pissed off. At this point, the next Battlefield that will come out, I'm gonna still expect that game that doesn't, it's not gonna run within the first week or two. Basically, I'd rather just wait until it's got some kind of post-launch update. Yeah, no, like, this game has played pretty good as far as Delta Force. There's not been really many optimization issues from what I've experienced either. But we'll find out more and more, you know, as this game builds out and, you know, fully releases. And then another big thing that that's super different with these two games is their gameplay. You can just feel it. It's hard to explain. You have to play this game, maybe just hop on 2042 for another 15-20 minutes of your time, and you'll feel and see that difference that Delta Force has compared to Battlefield. And if I were to pick which game had better gameplay, I would, at the moment, still pick Delta Force. Now, as far as the audio, I think 2042 still takes that as the king for, you know, gun sounds, tank sounds, and all of that. But the general gameplay, you know, how these soldiers run, the shooting, tank play, even helicopter play, it just feels sturdier. It feels more satisfying. It just, like I said, if I were to choose between 2042 and Delta Force, I'm just gonna go straight Delta Force. I don't think I'll probably touch 2042 ever again with this game coming out. I'll probably just be waiting for the next Battlefield, hoping that it's a little more gritty, a little more, you know, that Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4-esque type of vibe, and, you know, hope that they make a good game as far as DICE and EA. Putting that list off to the side, I can just wrap up everything else. As far as the weapon customizations and I think even like operator customizations, it's really extensive. It's super modular. You can put on 2 laser sights and a flashlight within one weapon and just make it super accurate as far as hip fire, but, you know, aim super slow as far as aiming down sight. So many ways of building your weapons. I think honestly you can make 10 different varying ways of a gun that'll feel very different in terms of it being a long shooter or a short shooter. I mean, one gun can basically turn into 20 different guns. Yeah, there's no question at all that as far as customization, Delta Force is the reigning champion on that, and probably will be, especially when this game fully comes out. The final big difference really is the variety of game modes. Battlefield 2042 has only really had Conquest and Breakthrough, and they had that weird battle royale mode that they were going for, but with that falling through, I mean, it's just the typical stuff that you would know within a Battlefield game, and 2042 didn't even have a story. With Delta Force, there's 3 different modes. Actually, I think more with, you know what, maybe I'm confusing myself with the Black Hawk Down stuff, but with the game coming out, we'll definitely know for sure that there are 3 different modes for Delta Force, which is their extraction-based mode, the Conquest, you know, Battlefield-esque type of mode that we're all familiar with, and a story mode, a campaign. And the 3 modes that they've got are story campaign, which, you know, everyone knows that's in the story campaign. They have Havoc Warfare, I believe is what, yeah, Havoc Warfare, which is basically Battlefield-esque vibe of gameplay, especially, you know, if we're comparing Battlefield 2042, for example. And then they have their extraction mode, which I thought was the best mode out of them so far, and that's called Operation Hazard. That extraction mode is extremely fun. It's going more for, you know, again, that the more casual, easier feel that everyone could be familiar with and, you know, pick up again immediately. Just, you know, it's really easy. Delta Force is just an easy game to learn, but it's gonna be difficult to master for sure. Y'all remember, you know, Black Ops 4's battle royale mode called Blackout? So if you were to take Blackout's gameplay, not the game mode, the battle royale, if you were to replace that battle royale with an extraction mode and just basically keep Black Ops 4's Blackout within that and just, you know, make it an extraction mode, that's probably the closest comparison that I could give in terms of this specific extraction mode with Delta Force. With the operators, you know, having these abilities, it's fun. It's basically giving you this fast-paced, very, very big looty, mucho loot extraction shooter. Meaning, like, there's so much loot that you can get within their game mode. Yeah, I mean, this would probably take forever to explain, but just in my perspective, this extraction mode is super fun, super casual, and super chill to play. And, you know, comparing them to Escape from Tarkov or Gray Zone, those are way more on the realistic side to compare it. And I just think that that's what really makes Delta Force stand out the most, which is that extraction mode. And I really can't wait to play more of it when the game starts fully coming out. Yeah, I don't think Delta Force will exactly kill off Battlefield or Call of Duty as far as franchises, but Battlefield 2042, yeah, that's basically kaput. It'll be basically replaced with Delta Force. And I think this game will be pretty cool, pretty fun. It's gonna have its own community, and yeah, I can't wait to look forward to more of it. And if anything, EA and DICE just have to make a super gritty, give me that Battlefield 1 feel with Battlefield 4's gameplay and make it just gritty, just raw military, you know, shooter, but, you know, not super squad feely or Arma 3. Basically just make another good Battlefield game, man. 2042 just wasn't it. I still don't think it is, honestly. It's the only Battlefield option that we have currently that's within the most recent release, even though, you know, you could pick up Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 and just have some of the best gameplay still to experience ever. I mean, that beats 2042, and Delta Force is gonna beat 2042. If y'all made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. If you're looking for more content like this, or if y'all want to let me know if content like this is pretty cool for this channel, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what y'all think as far as Delta Force and Battlefield and Call of Duty and this big competition basically that will ensue pretty soon. And let me know if I missed anything or if y'all wanted to point out something. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Stay good, human beings, and I'll see y'all on the next one.